Okay, I'm cold this evening, so I'm wrapped up. I definitely recommend blankets for this evening's practice, for Shavasana at the end, or anything else that you like for comfort. Also bring blocks, straps, anything like that into your practice if it's something that you use, but you won't necessarily need them for this evening's practice. And just while we're waiting a minute for everybody to get online, I thought it would be nice to give a quick kind of pre-lesson on the divine feminine, which does tend to crop up in quite a lot of my yoga sessions. And I just really want to clarify, when we say divine feminine, we're not talking about anything to do with gender or sex. It isn't male or female or anything like that. It's half of a complete whole of energies that we need in this world. We need those lovely, driven, passionate forces of masculine, the divine masculine, but divine feminine is really important as well. The more intuitive, feeling, softer energies that we're going to be tapping into tonight. So tonight should stay quite soft and gentle. Go at your own pace with things as well. One more minute before we start this evening's practice, though, properly. Okay, if everybody has everything they need around them, they're all set up, we're going to get ourselves settled for the practice. Hopefully you can all see me okay. I think that we're okay, but we are dealing with nighttime here, so I've got as much lighting on as possible for you. Let's start this evening's practice by coming into a comfortable seated position. Now that might be cross-legged for you. Your legs can be out and stretch out in front. You might want to put a blanket or a block, meditation cushion underneath you. We're going to be sitting here for a little bit of time to start the practice. So really get yourself comfortable before we kind of drop into the session this evening. Thank you all for joining me. Once we're comfortable, allow the sit bones to be heavy on the earth. Try to find length through the spine. So the core is going to be relaxed, but just slightly engaged, that you can feel that you can draw the spine up, the crown of the head being pulled up, and the shoulders just gently dropping away down the back. Once you have found a position that you feel comfort in, that you feel you can relax and drop into, gently feel invited to close the eyes. And the first thing we're going to do is simply notice the breath. Just notice the sensation as the air comes in through the nostrils. What is the quality of that air? Is it warm or cool? Do you easily feel it passing through the nostrils and down the throat? And then see if you can pick up the sensations of the breath going into the body, into the torso. Notice the expansion of the chest, the ribs gently spreading apart. You might feel the shoulders lift up towards the ears, the stomach relax and push out. And then notice what happens when the breath is released from the body. The reverse of the body starting to come together again, as it helps guide the breath out through the nostrils back into the room around you. And again, allow air to naturally come in. We're not controlling the breath in any way here. We're just noticing sensations, tapping in with how we feel with the own natural cycle of our breath. How far down into the body do you feel that breath move? What does it feel like when you release the breath from the body? Just another cycle of breath here before we shift our attention elsewhere. Now I would like you to gently start scanning the physical body, starting at the soles of your feet and slowly making your way up the legs, through the torso, down the arms and up over the head. And just check with where your physical body is today. We're not using any judgments. I don't want you to change anything. Just notice points of sensation. It might be tension, resistance. It might be pleasurable sensations that you notice, that you feel really relaxed or really good in an area. Once you've allowed yourself to check in with the physical body, you're going to ground in by checking in with where we are emotionally today. So just ask yourself how you're feeling. What has the journey of your emotions been? Again, recognizing there's no judgment, there's no positive or negative. Is all we're doing here is checking in with ourselves to ground in with our practice. Know that whatever emotions are creeping up, whatever answers you have, your emotions are being held in a safe space right now for you. And lastly, let's come to our mental state. Check in with the quality of the thoughts coming through your head. Are you finding that your mind is really busy today? There's lots of racing thoughts, a huge to-do list. Is there one thought maybe that just keeps playing over, something that is just hanging on to you at the moment? Or maybe you feel there isn't a lot mentally happening, you feel quite relaxed, or you're not in a place where you're feeling a need to be thinking about lots of things at the moment. So we're just bringing our awareness to how that is. Again, not judging. Take a deep breath in through the nose. I'm going to sigh everything out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One last time, in through the nose, releasing any tension off, out through the mouth. And then start to float the eyes open, allow the light back into the body. We're going to start through today's practice by setting our intention. Our sankalpa for today's practice is, I am intuitively connected to my creativity. I am intuitively connected to my creativity. So really looking at these feminine qualities today, to trust your body, trust your own intuition, to guide you through the practice or whatever comes after the practice in a creative way that feels right for you. So with that in mind, as we go through the practice today, if you feel that something isn't right for you to practice, it isn't safe, or you need to modify it in any way, please know that it is your practice, not mine. So modify, take child's pose, shavasana, Do whatever you need to do to listen to your body's needs. And I will offer modifications. They might not be the right ones for you. So if you know better ones that are safer, please do that as well for yourself. We're going to start with a breath practice called Chandra Shodhana. So it's left nostril breathing. And with the left nostril breathing, what we're doing is we're really tapping into that left side of the body, those really feminine, quiet, subtle, emotional feelings. And we really kind of want to start pulling that energy into the body before we move through the movement practice. So in any way that is really comfortable for you, we're going to block the right nostril off. So it might be with fingers, it might be with your thumb. And then we're going to do 10 rounds of breath through the left nostril only. Now, if for some reason this evening that's not suitable for you to block off a nostril and breathe, you can mentally do this as well. So if you have a cold, blocked sinuses or anything like that, for any reason that stops you just breathing through one nostril, then please just envision the breath coming in and out of the left nostril. And it's going to have the same energetic effect for you. So let's prepare by doing a clearing breath. Breathe in fully through both nostrils. Out fully through both nostrils. Block off the right nostril. And inhale through the left. Exhale through the left. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. 7 more breaths. Go at your own pace. Maybe feel welcome to close the eyes for this practice. When you get to your 10th breath, just drop the hand away from the right side. Take some natural breaths in through both nostrils. Become aware of any changes there might be or might not be in how you're breathing now. How the body feels now. Does it maybe feel a bit more relaxed, a bit cooler, a bit calmer? Do you feel more settled and grounded, ready for the practice ahead of you? If your eyes are closed, gently start to float them open. And we're just going to start with warming up through our neck. So just rolling the head, allowing the ear to come to one shoulder, rolling the head forward, chin to chest, and to the other side. And then back forward again. Know these are your movements. Do this at your pace. If there's a bit that becomes a little bit stuck and you feel you'd like to move back and forward, allow the head to roll in a way that feels good for you. Drop the chin down to the chest and then start to lift the head back up to neutral. And we're going to take some shoulder rolls from here. So inhale, squeeze the shoulders up high, and as we exhale, roll the shoulders back down the back. Inhaling up and forward, exhaling back. Try and time the movement so that it flows with your own natural breath. So we're really starting to connect breath and body together here. Come into how it intuitively wants to move. Make those rolls as large or as small, as fast as or as slow as feels good for you. And then allow the shoulders to come to stillness. Hands coming to the knees. And we're going to go through some seated cat-cows to warm up the spine. So as we inhale, we're going to pull that chest forward and upwards. The neck, the head might follow to look up if it feels kind on the neck. If it doesn't, just keep it in a more neutral position. And then as we exhale, start to roll from the pelvis, squeeze the navel all the way in, and then drop the crown of the head downwards. So inhale, chest comes forward, lift that heart space up. Exhale, roll one vertebrae at a time backwards. Again, connecting with your breath. Maybe you feel the shoulders, the hands want to come into the movement as well. It might be quite a deep cat-cow for you, or the movements might be quite shallow. One more cycle here. Lift back up to neutral. And we're going to draw the left hand over to the right knee. The right hand goes behind. Just come into a really gentle twist. I'm not trying to force this at this stage. Inhale in and find some length. And then we're going to exhale and take the twist all the way back over to the other side. Inhale back. Exhale, twist backwards. Again, let's go a few rounds, just going with your own breath. So when we're warming up through the spine, energetically, we're really tapping into that Shakti feminine energy, creative energy, releasing it from the base of the spine and drawing it all the way up the nadis. So even if you don't get a lot of time in your day, just waking up and doing gentle spine exercises like this can help touch in with that feminine aspect, that creativity that you might need to start your day. Come back to center, and we're going to come into some Sufi grinds. So for this, as we inhale, we're going to drop the torso over one leg, roll forwards, and then as we exhale, it's almost like our cat position that we're coming into by drawing the navel back and the spine round. So inhale, drop and round the torso forwards. Exhale, arch the spine. And again, these can be quite lifted. They can be at the top if it's not suitable for you to drop very low into them. Or you're welcome to do nice big low circles as well. Just check with what your body wants here, what feels good for you today. This movement is amazing for opening up our sacral chakra in our lower abdomen here, the seat of our emotions, our creative power. And then we're going to go the other way. See if you can reverse the breath the other way as well. Lovely. Come up to stillness. Let's bend our knees, placing the feet on the ground, hands behind us. And we're just going to open up through the hip joints a bit by windshield wipering the legs from side to side. Again, see what it feels like to do different types of movements here. What does your body want? It might be quite slow, dropping the knees all the way to the ground, that pelvis rolling. It might be just nice quick ones from side to side at the top. Bring yourself to stillness, and from here we're going to make our way up to standing. So as we stand, I'm not wanting you to really control how you're standing, but what I would like you to do is become aware of your journey up to the top of your mat. So if you get up just by pushing up with a bit of momentum, do you use your hands? Do you turn onto your knees? And actually just start to mentally follow that journey up for yourself. Coming all the way up to standing, and we're going to go through a Chandra Namaskar, so moon salutation, but we're going to slow it all the way down and really hang out in these poses and get a bit of flow going and a bit of intuition with how you would like to move within each pose rather than just moving from one to the next. So let's find Tandasana to begin with, mountain pose. So for this one, I don't like to cue feet position. Purely because Anati Mini might mean your foot position is going to be really vastly different to mine or the next person. So what I would like you to do is just see if you can find a balance between both your feet. So can you feel, standing up nice and tall, as much weight drafting down through the left foot as the right foot? And then check in to see is if you've got as much weight in the heel of your foot as you have in your toes. So does your big toe, your small toe, the heel, then have a look at the outside edge. Does everything feel nice and equal, nice and stable and balanced, weighted there? Maybe rock from side to side just to check in with yourself. Find a nice middle ground, and then see if your hips are stacked nicely over knees and ankles. There might be a soft bend in the knees, tummy drawn in, shoulders relaxed, and gently close the eyes. Now, if you're balanced, you'll feel really nice and strong and tall in your position. Like if somebody was going to come and gently try and push you over, you would be that mountain. Allow the eyes to open, and then we're going to inhale, reach both hands up high, and then stretch as high as you can, maybe pouring fingers, reaching. What is it you're reaching for? Stretch even taller, and then on your exhale, let's bend slightly to the left hand side. So we're not looking for crushing into the stretch here. We're looking for length down the right hand side of the body. And again, maybe that reaching, trying to help find your length. Come back up to the top. Inhale in, reach high. Exhale, turn to the right side. Maybe reaching. Check with where your neck is. Are you looking up or looking down? Just make sure it's comfortable. Inhale in. And then I'd like you to just play with a bit of flow at the top of this torso. See if you can keep these mountain legs, but wave from side to side, maybe in circles. Just see what feels really natural, what way your body would like to take you. Come to stillness. Deeply bend the knees. Allow the torso to drop all the way over, crown of the head coming down towards the floor as the pelvis shifts upwards. Now, if it's not in your practice to invert, the hands can come up to the shins, engage the tummy in, and just come to a halfway flat back. Take a deep breath into the back space. Exhale, release. And again, maybe you enjoy this pose in stillness. Maybe you see what it's like to move. Rock that weight from side to side. Grab elbows and do a figure of 8. Or the head might move. Just allow yourself to enjoy the pose. Push down through the heels, lift yourself all the way back up to standing, and then we're going to take the feet wide. So big toes are pointing forwards or maybe slightly turned in. Okay, we're going to engage through our legs. So feel like you're pulling your kneecaps up by squeezing your thighs. Hands down to your hips, take a deep breath in, and then start to fold forwards by hinging at the hips, these creases in your legs here. Now again, if invert isn't your practice, stay here with a flat back. If it is, inhale in and then exhale the rest of the way down. And we're going to move again, rocking from side to side or shifting weight, lifting up onto toes. Hands down to the mat, bend the knees, start to lift back up to standing and turn the toes out towards the corners of your mat, so about 45 degrees. We're going to drop into goddess squat, squeezing the glutes, so squeezing the bum really, really hard so the back muscles are doing the work and the knees can part and push towards the back wall. Check down and have a look. If your knees are dropping in and you can see your foot on the back space, maybe just lift up a tiny bit more. We don't need to go very, very deep into the pose. And then we can play from here as well. So it might be circular movements around with the torso, or the arms might flow from side to side. Remember the good thing here, nobody's watching you, so you can move in any way that feels good. Maybe lifting from one toe to the next. Breathing all the way through. Really calm, slow movements. And come to stillness in the middle. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, releasing off any tension. And push through the heels of the feet to lift yourself up. Turn the body completely so it faces the left hand side of the mat. Come up onto the toes of your back foot and then lunge into the front foot so the knee is stacked over the ankle. Pull the tummy in, crescent lunge just for a pause, and then we're going to drop our hands down to the inside of our left leg. We might need to walk our left leg out a little bit and maybe even the right leg back or forwards. Now at this point you might want blocks underneath your hands to bring the floor towards you slightly. And again, what does it feel like to shift, to move in the pose? Draw the shoulders down to create length through the neck, back and forward, or maybe knee up and down. Play with this in any way that you need to. We're going to turn to Skandasana, so staying in a lunge position and then opening up towards the front. So legs out long. If this isn't suitable for you, drop the shin down completely on that left leg and you can stay up or you can stay down, and then play with toes maybe flexing backwards and forwards, rocking the hip. Lovely. Walk yourself to the middle. Find Malasana. So squat pose at the bottom. So feet are turned out again, 45 degrees. Pelvis is dropped down towards the floor. This is quite intense. So if it doesn't work for you, You can bring a block underneath you to sit on, or you can bring yourself all the way down to the floor and just allow the knees to be wide and drawn in. So whatever version of Malasana we're in, let's just bow. Well, we're at the bottom of our Namaskar, our flow series here. Let's bring a bit of humility into the practice. And then from here, you might want to be in stillness. You might want to move around using some mobility in those hips. And then we're going to shift to the other side. So the left leg is going to come out long, so we're in Skandasana. Again, remember your right leg, shin, can come onto the floor if that's quite an intense pose for you. And go through the same movements as on the other side. Roll in the hip. Release off any emotional pent-up energy that's been stored there. We're going to turn the body completely to face the right side. So we're in lizard pose now. Both the hands are on the inside of the right leg, facing forwards. And use your body in a way that feels good. Knee up and down. Maybe you even circle over those wrists one way and then the next. Walk those back toes in an inch or two. Engage the core. Maybe you put your hands up on your thighs to help you. Lift yourself up to your crescent position, crescent lunge. Drawing the tummy in, allowing the shoulders to drop back, feeling length, feeling strong. Deep breath in, and then we're going to turn towards the front with the toes back out towards the corners at 45 degrees, dropping back through our goddess again. So here, allow the spine to be long, so tummy's really engaged so that we're not dropping or arching our back. We're supporting ourselves all the way through the squat. That's it. Really move. Or maybe stillness is where you're at today. Either one. It's listening to your own body. Push through the heels, lift up, turn the toes in, hands to the hips, deep breath into the chest, and then exhale, fold halfway, flat back. Stay here if this is the pose for your practice today. If not, inhale, find more length through the spine, exhale all the way over to that forward fold. Maybe see how your body wants to move on the second time round into this invert. Is it the same way? Are there some different poses coming through now? Come to center. Really root down through the feet, bend the knees, lift yourself up. And then we're going to walk heel toe our feet back up to the center. Inhale, hands all the way up. Reach again. Again, reaching for your goal, what it is you want from life. Deep breath in, exhale to the left. Inhale up, exhale to the right. Inhale up again. Bring the hands together, exhale, hands through to heart center. Find your Tandasana. And from here, just find a moment of stillness. Check back in with your breath. So notice the quality of the breath coming in through the nose. How is the body moving to make room, to make space for that breath in the body? What happens is you exhale the breath out. Inhale those hands up. We're going to exhale, bend the knees deeply, come to your forward fold. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, lift up halfway, flat back. And then we're going to exhale, hands to the mat, rock to your toes so you can bring the pelvis down low. And we're going to come to seated on our mat again now. So make your way back to seated in any way that is safe for you and stretch the legs out in front of you. Draw the toes so they're pulling in towards your face and squeeze the thighs together so that there's engagement all the way through the legs. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana, forward fold here, seated down. Inhale, circle the arms up so that you can reach up, open up the torso and find length. And then as we exhale, I want you to try imagining your tummy dropping towards your thighs rather than hands reaching towards the feet. So that we don't stretch, we can just kind of allow the body to naturally drop in towards the pose. So it might go all the way down to the thighs, it might not, it doesn't matter. Allow the arms to just relax so they're not stretching, they're not straining the body. And then if it feels comfortable, maybe drop the crown of the head down as well. Just creating a sense of calming in the body after we have allowed it to move and flow and open up for us. Squeeze the tummy and then start to roll from the base of the spine up to seated, one vertebra at a time, allowing the head to be heavy, the last thing that comes up. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So do that in any way that's comfortable for you. It might be using your forearms and just gently lowering yourself down to the mat. It might be in your practice to roll down without the aid of your arms. So if we're going to do this, the tummy squeezes in to really hold the support of the spine, and we roll down one vertebrae at a time. The moment you feel that the tummy is not holding you any longer though, the forearms come down and then you roll yourself safely down the rest of the way. At the bottom, draw the knees in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around them or underneath the knees. It might feel nice to roll from side to side here. Take the arms out into a T shape and keeping the knees together, allow the legs to drop off to the left hand side. They might not reach the floor, that's fine. You can use your blocks again to help support you. Propping them up underneath your knees. Inhale them back up and exhale, drop them down to the other side. Inhale the knees up. Give them one last squeeze in, maybe lifting the forehead up to the knees as well. And then allow the legs to come down to the mat, the head to come down, and prepare yourself for Shavasana. If you have blankets or pillows, you might need to pull them in around yourself now. Cover yourself up, stretch your legs out long take up all the space on your mat. Feel everything sinking. Be heavy. The backs of your legs, your shoulders, the back of your head. And give yourself permission to rest here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. I have a brother who builds wooden boats, who knows precisely how a board can bend or turn, steamed just exactly, soft enough so he, with help of friends, can shape it to the hull. The knowledge lies as much within his sure hands on the plane as in his head. It lies in love of wood and grain, a rough hand resting on the satin of the finished deck. Is there within us each some artistry forgotten in the cruder tasks the world requires of us? The faster modern work that we have turned our life to do? Could we return to more of craft within our lives and feel the way the grain of wood runs true, by letting our hands linger on the product of our artistry? Could we recall what we have known but have forgotten? The gifts within ourselves, each other too, and thus transform a world as he and friends do, shaping steaming oak boards upon the hulls of wooden boats. Feeling welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you would like. If you are going to stay, then please just allow the sound of my voice to drop out of your consciousness so you can slip into deeper relaxation. If you're ready to end today's practice with me, start to become aware of the environment around you. Take note of the solidity of the floor holding you, the sounds of the room around you, the temperature of the air on your skin. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale long and slow, bringing life back to the body by making small movements, wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe nodding the head from side to side. Gather the knees in towards the chest, giving them a final squeeze here. Touch the feet back to the earth and roll over into a fetal position. So on one side of the body, supporting the head. And just take a second to thank yourself. Thank yourself for showing up and using your intuition to open up your creativity in this practice today. Using your free hand, start to push into the earth so you can roll up the spine one vertebra at a time to a comfortable seated position, feeling welcome to keep the eyes closed. And we're going to close today's practice with the chant of one Om to basically acknowledge and say thank you to the lineage of yoga that we've been gifted. So bringing our hands together in Anjali Mudra, connecting at our heart center. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Om. Take any last moments you need here for reflection or movements that are calling you. And when you feel ready, gently open the eyes, allow the light to come back in and come back to the world out of practice. Namaste.